Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing, friend?
Good morning, Carlos. Look, I'm doing okay. It's rainy and cold and miserable here today, but fortunately I'm inside. It's toasty warm and the trading's good. How about you?
Glad to hear that, man. It's cloudy over here. No rain yet, but it's a nice, brisk morning. So hopefully you guys over on YouTube members room had a great day. Yes, having a good morning. Let's jump right into some stuff that's happening today. Peter, what's the latest and greatest on our U.S. economic calendar?
Some stuff. Yeah, let's look at some stuff. And not a lot of stuff, really, to look at. We've got new home sales that are coming out at 10 o'clock today. That I don't know. I don't expect it to have much of a market impact, but I was wrong in the last economic data. Seems to be a little more sensitivity recently to it, so we'll see at 10. And then there's a Fed Gov Kugler. Kugler is speaking at 4. Is that a new Fed Gov? I didn't recognize the name. I'm used to most of the names. Adriana Kugler seems to be a new Fed Gov. But anyways, look, nothing all midday, right? We got nothing before the open. We've got nothing in the afternoon. Really, we got that speaker at the close, which will have pretty much zero impact. So, yeah, should be a quiet day from an economic calendar front. A lot of global economic news happening. The I don't know. I feel like the global economy is a little more worried about recessionary tendencies right now than it has been over the last little while. We talked about China yesterday, and they, sort of bumped up the Chinese stocks with some reduction of their bank conditions for loans with a little stimulus package. We seem to see a lot of rate cuts happening around the world. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what that's going to mean for the market overall. I mean, let's face it, the U.S. market generally has ignored all that stuff. And as right now we are sitting pretty close, if not at all-time highs on the SPY, and then the Qs are not far behind. So this market, man, it just it'll take a deep breath and then keep climbing, no matter what happens, it seems.
Yeah, it's definitely been very resilient here, and we saw a lot of stocks take advantage of some of those moves yesterday. So, and how about Nvidia yesterday? I mean, I was doing P Capital, and we're chatting with the members, and someone brought up Nvidia, and it just took off yesterday. So, that is nice.
Really, just out of nowhere. I mean, it you said took off. I mean, no kidding. Like, that was an amazing move.
Yeah.
I was pretty shocked, actually.
Yeah, so let's see. Looking good today. We have some stuff on our gappers. Let's a quick look at that, and you can see there's a few things in the green. Not a whole lot, just 3 of them, and the first two are lower flow stocks, right? 26 million. The following one is 30. Then we have DJT on there, so we'll see what that is up to this morning. Now, gapping down, we have a bit more, and you mentioned this earlier, Peter. A lot of the Chinese stocks are leading the gap down today. They let the gap up yesterday. They basically took over the entire gap up list. And today they're dominating the downside. So a bit of a pullback here. We'll see if this means over. That was great. Let's go back down to where we came from. Or are people going to buy this dip here? So it'll be fun to see. Nevertheless, some of these are going to be in play. Baba was great yesterday. If you're watching this one, if I can spell that correctly, BABA. This was pretty nice yesterday. Traded very, very well. So we'll see what that does today as well. All right, let's get right to it, friends. Control A, Control X is going to clear my current list on Dash Trader Pro. And we'll look at the first one here. It's going to be ELYM. So ELYM, 26 million shares flow. As I mentioned, the first two are low flow stocks this morning. Up 27%, 1.1 million shares traded. This is fugly, man. This is fugly. This is ugly. Ugly. Peter, what's going on with this? There's the truck.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking up news on something else here. What
Yeah.
are we looking at? LYM. I got to
We're
catch
looking at
back
some
up.
ugly stuff, man. Ugly stuff.
Yeah, it's a biotech. So yeah, biotechs are typically ugly. I mean, like you said, not quite a low float, but we're only looking about 51, 52 million shares in this float. I don't. They're participating in a conference. My daughter goes to some of these conferences. There's a conference for everything out there. They're participating at the 2024 Virtual Immunology and Inflammation Summit. Sounds exciting. Anyways, I guess if that's your area, then it is exciting, or it's an excuse for a boondoggle. But I don't see I don't see the news. I'm not sure what's going on with this.
I don't like it. So we'll move on to the next one. It's going to be CAPR. So CAPR this morning. This is up 7.1. Looks like a therapeutics company. It was up yesterday pretty nice. Going from five. So I'm going from five all the way to six. And then this yesterday gapped up to nine. All the way up to nine here. So this morning showing us more signs of strength. Let's take a look how it traded yesterday. And this is horrendous, friends. I mean, just what are we looking at here? So all the fun was in the pre-market. Looks like that was nice, and then the market opens, and you get this right here. This kills traders, by the way. So RIP to those that went in there. I know that's not you guys because you guys trade amazing. You don't just start following things here. So RIP to some accounts there. Sorry about that. But yeah, look at this pop. Drops from 9 all the way back down to 8, and then it leaves you stuck here. So horrible. Peter, another second day opportunity here. Looks like maybe.
Oh man, the news is equally awful in my opinion. I mean, there was news yesterday. The news that this was trading on yesterday was horrible. I'll read you the headline. Capricor Therapeutics announces the intent to file a biologics license application for full approval for deramyocel of the treatment of muscular dystrophy. So they announced the intent to file an application to try and get approval for a thing. Like that is not, I don't know, tradable news in my opinion. They haven't actually done anything yet. They haven't got approved. They haven't even filed the application. They're just telling that they intend to file the application. That's like you paying me, say, look, I intend to get hired with this company as an executive to get paid to make money for the company. So why don't you just give me the salary now? Like, I don't know. Welcome to the news cycle. There's my first rant of the day then. I mean, it's news like this that just makes me shake my head because I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do with this stock. So we're gonna just throw this thing in the dumpster here. We don't like it. We don't like the catalyst. We don't like what's happening. So we'll garbage truck that thing there. Friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. I'm gonna ask early so you can just hit it, get out the way, keep enjoying your coffee here with me and Peter. And you don't have to worry about paying your dues anymore to our free pre-market show here. So thank you for that. If you haven't had the opportunity to hit that button, I know it's early. I usually don't ask before 9, but today I'm feeling a little spicy. Let's see. DJT, my friend. Let's take a look at that one. Trump Media Tech. We are bouncing back a little bit here. Up 5.1. I mean, again, the stock gets the volume, but it just doesn't trade well. Peter, I don't like those thing moves when the bell rings. So, what do we have here as far as any news maybe driving this up this morning?
Look, I don't know. I mean, it's been in the news recently as just sort of as adjacent to Trump's announcement of the World Liberty Financial as he's jumping into crypto after years of saying that he didn't believe in crypto, didn't understand crypto, didn't want to have any part of it. Now, I guess there's money, so he's decided that crypto's not so bad and is going to release his own cryptocurrency with this World Liberty Financial, the WLFI crypto coin. So I don't know. I mean, DJT has been pretty quiet on the front of their, it's interesting how this product, the company still is at the level it's at, quite frankly, being that they have not come good on their earlier announcements and promises of the product, its launches, its growth, its utilization. it's saying thing is hanging on here, but like you said, Carlos, it would. It's a shame that it's not funner to trade. Like it just seems like it has every opportunity to be a fun trading stock, but when I've watched it during the day, it hasn't really moved well, hasn't traded well. So
Yeah, yeah, I don't like him. Go off my list, guys. But again, we have our scanners. If things get going, we can definitely take a look at this. Whoa, look at this. Look who's back into some kind of civilization and connection. It is our buddy here, Andrew. So good morning, Andrew.
yeah,
Hope you are well. Hopefully the climb is going good. So he's over there on YouTube chat saying good morning to all you guys. So give Andrew your best wishes as he continues. Did you summit already? I saw that you went up, but it hasn't. I read the whole great newsletter, by the way. I know you didn't summit yet, but the experience has been amazing. So too much snow up there back in the village. Okay, cool, man. Cool. But yeah, if you are not signed up to the newsletter, really, really nice. Definitely can keep up with what's going on with Andrew, keep up with what's happening in our community. Completely free. Head over to bearbutraders.com. And if you scroll, I believe, all the way to the bottom, I'm doing it myself right now. That's going to be on education. Scroll all the way to the bottom after you click on education, and you can sign up for our newsletter. There it is. So newsletter, you Brian swing trading, all that fun stuff is available there. So definitely check that out. All right, friends, let's get back to this list. Look who popped up here: OKOL and also Donkey Kong. So we'll look at that. And I know it's a DKG, but AKOL. We'll look at this one next. I've never seen this ticker before. OKLO. Excuse me. Peter, have you? I don't think we ever looked at this stock.
no, it doesn't sound familiar. I don't think so. Oklo Inc. Regulated
Yeah.
electric. I assume it's a utility. Looks like they do have some good news, though. They finalized an agreement with the Department of Energy for their next phase of sitting.
Hmm.
Okay,
What
I
is that?
don't know what
I
that
don't know what
means.
that means, but
Is that an
we'll take
industry
it.
term? Like what? I don't know.
What does sitting mean? I
Uh,
mean,
They're uniquely positioned to deploy the first commercial advanced fission power plant in the U.S. It's sort of
okay.
interesting that it's sort of interesting to me that when I actually look at the news here, this is when a news article is this is the best photo they can attach to the news article. Okay, what is this exactly? This is the chosen and preferred location for the fission power plant in Idaho. Yes, you were literally looking at a big open plain of nothingness. Anyways, but the news is apparently
Yeah.
this is the place where they've got approval from the government to create America's first, the U.S.'s first fission power plant. So, all right, make of that what you will, but
Yeah.
that's good news for this company in Oklo.
You couldn't find an
Yeah,
uglier
it's not a bad
place. I mean, there's so
picture.
many ugly places. No, it's a great. It looks so wonderful. Why are you gonna go mess that up with some stuff there? Find some ugly place you could put this place thing in, right? Don't mess up that. But okay, I'm in charge of those decisions. So let's take a look at the next one. Here is gonna be DKNG, my friends. I don't like this one, by the way. It also just doesn't trade well. Very light. I think we'll find better things to look at this morning. DKNG. Let's see what we have here. This one is wow, we got some stuff happening here. Up 4.8, 245 thousand shares. So that's good. I like it. I like it this morning. Breaking off the recent highs here on the daily. You can see 39 has been some issue for this stock. But today we're nicely pulling away from that. So Peter, anything happening in our DraftKings ticker here?
Good old Drings. Not really a lot of news here. They did get, no, that was a week ago. No, I don't see any news on it.
Okay. Interesting. I like the move they're doing here. I'm gonna add it to my list, maybe a possible in case something if it gets volume. I like the way he's setting up on the daily. And DKNG can trade very well when it gets volume and it has preferably when it has a catalyst, right? Usually we never look at this unless there's some kind of catalyst, a new state passing some, preferable laws for their gambling situation there or betting. But if there's no news, it could be tough to get that volume in here. So secondary for now, and that covers our gap up. One more that sneaked in here, WVE, and not much going on, just barely making our list. Had a decent day yesterday as far as the daily goes, from 642 all the way to 825. Only 15 million shares traded for the entire day. When you have that, you usually end up looking like this, right? It's just very choppy intraday action. Not sure what's going on today
Yeah,
with that one, but yeah.
it's another biotech. They do have good news that they're looking for approval for phase 2 of a drug after positive trials. So, again, it's usually the drug trial stuff that gets them going. In this case, it's their drug trial for WVEN531, which
Hmm.
is, of course,
Okay.
as everybody knows, of course, that is an exon skipping oligonucleotide. So there, that's the news. I have no
Hmm.
idea what I just said, by the way.
Take a sip of coffee,
But
thinking you was going to explain it next, but I guess
I,
I don't know what that
I don't
is.
know what
But
it is. I won't explain it. All I know is that, doesn't everybody want an exon skipping oligonucleotide? I mean, sounds delicious.
sounds something like it. Oh, something you eat? I thought something you step on or something, and like the Back to the
No, I
Future.
don't know what it
I
is.
am. I have no idea. All right,
It's a
we'll
drug that causes that
skip.
effect.
All right, that covers our gap up. I am not adding down to the list. Peter, anything you like that's gapping up or moving up that might not be on this list this morning?
Look, some semiconductor news. Taiwan Semiconductor (TSM) had some news overnight. Seems the U.S. government's handing out money these days. We heard about Intel getting funding from the Department of Defense for their chips, which we know they've been heavily involved with DoD for many decades. But Taiwan Semiconductor apparently has secured $7.5 billion worth of funding to expand their Arizona plant facilities. I didn't know that Taiwan Semiconductor had a plant or plants in Arizona, but apparently they do. So they got some new funding, and they're not seeing any volume as a result of that. I mean, they're sitting at barely green. Actually, no, sorry, they just went red while I was talking. They were green, now they're red. Anyways, yeah, not much movement, but there is news on that. Other than that, I don't have any gap up news.
All right, so we'll leave it on here. I know that they did move yesterday, gapped up, and if we look at the daily here, they actually had a good breakout. This was when Nvidia also started going, right? Nvidia got going here on 11 and shot up from 115 to 121. I mean, it was an incredible move. So we'll keep Nvidia on deck today. Speaking of Nvidia, since I just mentioned it, I am going to add that to my list. They got 6.7 million shares traded up here slightly. And here's the move that I spoke about, was talking about yesterday, right? So 115-ish all the way to almost 122, man. That is a massive run. I saw a couple of news things here in regards to another company being denied some access or some program, and I guess that benefits them. But also the SPY was moving at the same time. But yeah, if you look at every other stock, when the SPY moves up, it's not as much as this. This is definitely something that they enjoyed yesterday there, and they're getting the benefits of it today.
Wow.
Looking at our gap down, we saw this yesterday. Bonsai, whatever this thing was. It's on
Bonsai.
here today
Yeah.
again. Yeah, it's on here today again. It is down this time, man. Look at that, 32%. Hard to borrow, so you can't short this. This is just straight garbage, man. I mean, if you're trading well, if you're, just kind of getting the hang of it, you're doing awesome. This is where you come to lose your money. So don't come here to lose your money, right? Stay away from these low flow stocks. It's just, it gets upsetting, right? It's hard to do this job already, and then you come here and you mess with this stuff and you give it all back, right? So just don't resist the temptation to touch this thing, man. Right? As
Yeah.
you guys know, stick to the waterfalls and the lakes that you're used to. Don't go chasing this stuff. Go ahead, Peter. What we got on this?
You said stick to the water. I thought we wanted to avoid those waterfalls. I confused.
No, stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
Oh, there you go.
Rivers and
Okay,
lakes.
there you
Rivers
go.
and lakes are good.
That's
Yeah.
where I want to be. Bonsai, yes. Yesterday they had news, if you remember. The news was that they were paying off debt. They paid off some debt. They structured the rest. It was looking good. They very quickly followed up with some news after the market closed yesterday evening that they've got another $5 million private placement priced at the market. So basically, they paid off their debt and are raising some more money. So they waited to announce that reasonably because, again, paying off debt is good news. Diluting the value of existing shares is usually bad news. And Carlos, I've talked about this over the last few days, but there seems to be this trend recently for weird share numbers. Remember the one that we had yesterday? It was like 54,054,054 shares. I can't remember who that was, but it was somebody that did that. This one's equally weird, where it's 1,176,471 shares. Like, that is just so very
Here we go.
specific. Look, I mean, I don't mean to be the old guy, but what happened to the just issue like 3 million new shares? Like, why all these funky numbers? Like, what are you trying to prove? I really don't quite understand it. But anyways, that's the number. In case you really need to know, it's 1,176,471 shares for Bonsai is being issued in a private placement worth $5 million. So.
Yeah. Insane. I don't like it today. Can't short it even with Interactive Brokers. We just don't have shares on this one, so we will leave that one alone. Let's look at well, here comes in the Chinese train. We got Billy, we got XBEV, we got JD, Lee, Rivian, Baba. Chinese train or PDD, they're all on here, guys. It's just we're all up yesterday. Today they're all down. I'm gonna keep looking at Baba. Baba was insane towards the long side yesterday. Really traded well. I mean, it just got going, right? It was rough at first, but it really got going here and continues. So really nice move there. I'll be watching them again today. They're gapping down 3%. The key is going to be here. Are we going to be giving some of these gains back? We're still up compared to the week, right? So if you look at it here, we gapped up from 90 to 97. We're at 94. So are we dropping back down, or is this a pullback to head higher? So, Peter, anything new besides what we discussed yesterday with their possible rates cuts and
This is there? Like you said, this is just a second day play. We're getting a little bit of a contraction, as you might expect after the big day yesterday. I was watching a few of them. Baba was the one that, like you said, Carlos, thought would move. I actually liked JD and PDD better. They actually moved quite well. PDD especially had a good little pull up there. Sort of looks like the NVIDIA move yesterday, but not quite as dramatic. But PDD had a good move up in mid morning, I suppose, and not sure it's sort of mid range to that. So likely to be an inside day on a lot of these things. If I look at where they're sitting price wise, typically is what happens after these, right? They get in a range and they sit in the middle. But we'll see what happens. Might be in play again today.
Yeah.
It was a big enough move yesterday that it could just continue to play.
Yeah. I'm going to add a PDD to my secondary because it can trade well too. And I also had JD, but I'll just add Baba on my main and PDD on my secondary to see if anything good comes out of this. And then the rest, XBET, Lee, Rivian, you could pick your favorites out of all of these. I'm going to go with these two. Let's take a look at what's TCOM? Trip.com. So this is not a Chinese ticker. At least I don't think it is. Or is Trip.com Chinese? It could be Chinese company. I'm not sure. It is moving like it is, right? Gapped up yesterday, selling off today. So, do we know where this is from, Peter, or no?
TCOM, sorry, commenting on the fact that we had some it's a little static here in the room. No, this is trip.com, right? This one, if we're really talking about TCOM. And
that's what I'm talking about.
Looks like they're losing market share. The only thing I got is sort of a secondary article that says that looks like tourists are using lesser known options. So there seems to be a travel shift where especially Chinese tourists and others are using some smaller sites, and trip.com has been losing market share as a result. But that's about all I got.
Okay. Um, Typically a stock that doesn't get great volume, so I don't think I have ever traded Trip.com. But it get volume is usually very light on this one, so I don't like it for those reasons. Today they have 1 million shares traded though. That's a lot. That's usually a fourth of what they normally trade for the entire day. So they have that just in the pre-market. Today could be their day. I'm going to add them as a secondary list here. We do have shares for sure if the downside is going to be where the play is at. So add them on here for now. We'll see where that takes us. Chinese company, David Ball says.
Uh,
Okay, the
yeah,
Chinese
I'm
China
seeing
owns
Lewis
Script.com.
Baldwin started a rant for me, or started his own rant there. He said, "Just book direct, lazy people." So, I mean, I guess, yeah, but it's a convenience. You
I
can book
do
it
like
all in one spot.
Expedia. Yeah, I do like
Do
Expedia
you?
because they got the 24-hour easy cancellation, rebooking, no fees. So
Yeah,
Expedia's got they got a good setup,
I will
you know.
say, the one thing that I've learned, if I can share with you, not really a rant here, but let me share since we're talking travel. If you find a flight and it's with a like a reputable airline, like one of the larger airlines, and you can find the same price with the airline, always go and book with the airline would be my advice. If everything goes well, it doesn't matter. If things don't go well, though, and you're at the airport and they cancel your flight, they have to rebook you. It is much easier if you book directly with the airline, because sometimes if you book through a consolidator or third party, they'll give you a hard time, right? And they say you got to go back and call them, and they won't help you at their customer service desk because they don't own the ticket, right? They can't manage it, and so you can get some better deals sometimes with the consolidators, like the Expedias and others, because they'll book you different legs on different airlines, which again works if it works. If it doesn't work, it can be problematic. So, but there you go. So that's the only hiccup I've
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Yeah.
hotels, right? Hotels, you get to the hotel, and if you book through a consolidator, they're like, there's nothing we can do. You got what you got. So if you want to get an upgrade of a room or something, a lot harder if you've booked through, hotels.com or others. If you can get the same price, book through the hotel directly, because then you can show up at the desk and ask for an upgrade, and sometimes they'll give it to you if they're in a good mood. So, anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
there you go. There's my
All right.
travel tips for the day.
That makes sense. All right, let's take a look here, guys. I'm not going to watch trip.com. I mean, as my main list, I'll put it on the secondary. We'll see where it goes from there. Today could be their day. They got great volume. So we'll see. All right, that covers our gap up and down. Yeah, it does. Peter, anything you have in the gap down that you like this morning for us to take a look at?
Only one that was mentioned to me earlier. Merck, MRK, not a big pre-market trader. I mean, I don't think they have any volume pre-market. Well, they have 280,000 shares, but you can't really even see it on the chart, so it doesn't look good. But they actually had some bad news. They had a late-stage colorectal cancer drug that failed. So that's never good. If they were a smaller company, then yeah, that would be huge, and they'd be down 40%, 50%. But this is Merck. They have a lot of drugs in the pipeline, big company. So even the fact that the billions they've invested in this apparently is not going to pay off is probably not going to have a massive impact. The stock might move a little bit, but I don't expect it to be any long-term problems for them. So that was the only one I specifically had on the gap down. We got a lot of mixed stuff on the on the markets this morning. I see that Apple and Tesla and Netflix and a bunch of others are gapping down, but we also have Amazon and Nvidia and Micron and others, Microsoft, that are all gapping up. So pretty mixed day out there. Overall, the markets are slightly down, but Carlos, I'm not sure. It seems very unclear where the market wants to go today. So at least so far, I can't tell.
Yeah, we'll see. One thing for sure is we'll find opportunities, man. It's been we had these slow mornings, and we still have found a way to take advantage of some of the moves that we get. So we'll see if the volume comes in, but I will be looking at some of our usual suspects like Apple, right? So I'm going to throw that on here as well, and of course I'm going to be looking at Nvidia, Meta. I've been looking at Meta over the last couple of days. It's doesn't trade great all the time, but it's had a couple of really nice days. We'll see if that can continue. I'm going to add that over on my secondary list as well. All right, let's take a look at our YouTube chat and also our members tab. What do you guys like this morning? Let's see what you guys are watching today, and we'll go from there. I know what is this? Mora Mera. I had no idea P. Diddy had his own stock. He does have a stock. I didn't know he had a stock. Guy's a big mess over there. All right, let's see here. I booked my first flight. Oh, we're still talking about travel. I love it. I booked my first flight from Thailand to Vietnam last year using them and got my wrong name. See, I don't have these bad experiences, man. I hear horror stories and I use the service. People are like, oh, this is horrible. No, I won't use Spirit though. I won't go that route. But I use the thing. People say, oh, I never use them. They're horrible. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just lucky. But I don't have these stories where I can sit down like, oh man, they messed this up. They messed that up.
Yeah,
It's always just
but you've
smooth,
got
brother. Always smooth. So, and I travel with
Carlos,
kids. I mean, these
you
kids
got
are
little
like,
kids. You got little kids. Let's
yeah,
face it.
yeah.
Like, how many trips have you taken in the last 2 years by plane?
In the last by plane, I went to Florida twice. I went to DR once, international. That was rough with customs. That was rough flight. I gotta say that. So probably about with the kids, about four in the last 2 years
4?
that I can remember 100% for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
which is more than I thought you'd say. But you know, if I look at my
yeah.
own history, I mean, the last 2 years, I've probably taken 15 flights, right? Like, so
Nice. Well,
you know,
yeah. When you don't have kids, yeah,
you take
right.
that many, you're probably gonna just. It's more likely you're gonna
Yeah,
have
that makes
problems,
sense. Yeah. Yeah, it could be it. Could be a matter of numbers, but yeah, it's just I don't have these issues, man. Everything just works.
right? That's
Car
good.
rental, everything just works. But we'll see. All right, let's take a look here, friends. What do you guys like this morning? Disney World trips. Yeah, I got to go to Disney. That's on deck. The ticker is freak. Is that a ticker? Oh, we're talking about, yeah, it doesn't come up. So nobody has had that ticker yet, which I'm surprised. Could be a great ticker depending on what you're selling. Here's MU. MU this morning up 0.5%, 2.1 million shares traded. So yeah, Art brought this up earlier. Good friend Art here in the chat room. He's been a member with us for quite some time. And Peter, you met Art and actually had a great time when you were traveling. Speaking of travel,
You bet. I was invited to their house, showed me their actual
yeah.
artwork, art being an artist, and I keep their identity a secret because like a good superhero, you got to keep their identity secret. But I've visited the art cave, like their
There
bat
you
cave.
go.
Anyways,
Awesome.
I was very
Awesome.
honored. Met their family, the whole thing. Yeah, it was awesome. So I deeply appreciated that. It
She's
was
great. Yeah.
a great visit. Yeah, a couple of
I
times, in
met her. I
fact.
met her and her
Art.
family in that it's the second New York meetup that we had. I think you came down too, Peter, for that New York meetup, and met her and her family there. They were amazing. Um,
Hmm.
all right, let's take a look here. MU, yeah, we got volume, so I'm going to put it on a secondary list. It's great volume for MU. They normally don't get that type of volume. We'll see where this leads. I don't like the daily right now. It's not moving a whole lot, so we'll just keep it on the secondary for now. AMD, I see being thrown out here in our YouTube chat. Let's take a look what's happening here. YouTube, I'm sorry, AMD. It's quiet, guys. I mean, 197,000 shares traded. It's like all-time low numbers for AMD here. Yeah, it's just very low. So I'm gonna keep it off my list for now, at least, right? Man, AMD is falling off our usual suspect list, right, Peter? It's like it's not. It did well yesterday, but
Yeah.
what's going on with
I
it?
still keep it there. It ebbs and wanes. Sometimes it ebbs and flows.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Like I was talking about when I was live the other day trading. AMD especially, it is not a good open trader. Very rarely do you want to trade this right at the open. Right later in the day, it can get some
Yeah,
good moves, in my opinion. But the morning, like right at the open, no, it's not your best candidate. I can't argue that.
yeah, yeah. All right, we'll stop here. One last one here being mentioned, Rivian. Then we'll get to our community events and announcements and see what's happening on this beautiful. What is today? Whatever day this is, Tuesday?
Hump
No,
day.
it's
It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday
Midweek.
on this beautiful Wednesday. Rivian. So Rivian is dropping here down 4.2, 1.7 million shares traded. So volume is starting to pick up on this one. Looks actually pretty good. But keep in mind, all the Chinese stocks are looking like this. But Rivian's starting to look actually very interesting here, Peter. 1.7 down 4.3. Is there any specific news on Rivian, or is it all just Chinese related here?
Well,
Wait,
they
is
they
Rivian's
did
not even Chinese?
specifically.
Is it?
No, no, it's not. No, it's
No,
not.
they're
It's an
not.
American company.
So yeah, it's
Uh, they
yeah,
they
yeah.
did get a downgrade by Morgan Stanley, so fairly influential. They downgraded it, not severe, but from overweight to equal weight, and with a price target they reduced from $16 to $13, which, as we can see this morning, is still above the current trading price for Rivian. So, I don't know. I don't expect this really to be in play. It just yeah it looks, it's been trading like a lot of the Chinese EVs, so I don't blame you for putting in that basket, Carlos, but yeah, it's not
Yeah, yeah.
it hasn't really been in play.
Yeah. All right. Well, I like this drop here. I'm going to put in a secondary. We'll see if this means something, right? But you're right; it hasn't really been in play here. So let's see what happens. Volume is good. Drop is good. Let's see how this news reacts when real volume hits it at the market open. All right, we'll stop here,
I'm
friends. Let's head over to
surprised.
our community. Yeah.
You just made me think. I am surprised that Rivian hasn't got a bump. There's been a lot of sort of secondary talk about the fact that the U.S. is looking at strong regulations, putting them in place to prevent Chinese vehicles from entering the U.S. market. They're basically citing safety, well, not safety, but what am I trying to say? National security concerns. I'm not sure what the cars could learn about us, but I suppose if somebody could remotely take them over and use them to crash into things, that's a risk. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the conspiracy theory is exactly, but the US government's taking it seriously and is looking at maybe a total ban of Chinese produced vehicles in the US, which you'd think would be a bump for a Tesla and a Rivian especially, but I haven't seen I haven't seen any reaction, any positive reaction anyways for Rivian on that. So, maybe when they actually make the announcement, often the news is enough to move it, but yeah, maybe the government's actually got a rule on that before we see benefit.
Yeah, it's the
Can't afford
only
them.
car I see quite a bit. Rivian, I see it all over the place here. Rivian and Tesla are probably the only EVs. Once in a while, I see a Lucid, but Rivian and Tesla are all over the place. All right, today's Wednesday. Let's head over to what's happening today. We have Mike, and this evening, so let's go over that.
It is Mike week, absolutely. Mike did a presentation last night on his high of day break strategy and how you can use the scanners to help identify good candidates. Tonight, he's back in the saddle. He's going to be talking in our psychology series and leveraging last night's webinar to this time focus on the psychological side of it and the trading edge. How do you evaluate and improve your discipline? So he mentioned he's going to tie those together. Last night, he shared a bunch of stats about he specifically has been trading the strategy so he can get data. He sort of shared what it looked like. How did it work? What does a real trade strategy look like in implementation? And how do you effectively utilize that? And today, he's going to talk about the psychology behind making it effective. So hopefully you'll join him. Usual time, 8 o'clock in the webinar room for that. And then next week, Dr. Kenneth Reed will be back with us. I like Dr. Reed, his presentations. That's going to kick off Wednesday, October the 2nd, usual time at 8 p.m. He's going to talk about the thing that might be missing for you. So, and that will be a good webinar. He always has good titles, good topics that he talks about. So put that in your calendar for next Wednesday, October the 2nd. So those are our psychology webinars. As we always want to remind you, bearbulltraders.com is the website to go to and the place if you want to trade full-time with us or just jump in when there's value. But our chat room runs every minute that the stock market is open with live moderators all day and live trading as we go. So we share with you actively what we're doing, let alone you get to commune with all the other great members in our room. We've got a great community of people who are, trading focused. In the morning here, we have a little bit of fun. We talk about random things, but it is pretty much all business in that chat room most of the time. we've got to put some fun in there. But we're always focused on the markets and what's moving. We're always actively trading and sharing insight, whether it's about an active stock that's moving at the moment or a strategy that somebody is working on or evaluating. So hopefully you'll join us in the chat room. We got a number of membership options that I always remind you of. You can see them all listed here. The intro, of course, if you're listening on YouTube, you can get that for just $1. If you're brand new, you got virtually nothing to lose, right? Give it a shot. Check us out. Come join us in the chat room. You'll see what it's all about. You don't get access to all of the webinars. You need to be an elite member for that, but you can see what the core chat room's like. And from there, we're convinced that you'll be convinced that it's a great place to be. So hopefully you'll join us at some time soon. The other place that we like to send you to is tradingterminal.com. It's where we get all our news in the morning, all of the insight that we need to make our decisions about what to focus on and how to approach the day here, at the pre-market show. We're trying to help get you ready, but you might want to do your own research. If you do, go to tradingterminal.com. It's got everything, including scanners, a replay mode, a simulator, an academy of courses that you could take, some for free, some paid. It's got it all. So it's meant to be a one-stop shop for active traders. So check it out. Carlos, I'll pass it back to you to set some levels, and then I will let everybody know what our moderators are looking at.
Yep, absolutely. Let's take a look at that. Good question here in chat. When an analyst gives targets, what is usually their time frame that they have in mind? It's not the next day. Us day traders think it's the next day. Like, oh, it's 98, we're in 80. Let's go long, and it's going to get there. I don't know, Peter. What's the target that they give? Do they have it on there? I know some places have a chart.
Yeah, often they will actually tell you what their target is. It's not when we get the snippet. Usually they sort of cut that stuff out, right? Keep in mind, this is Peter's jaded view, but it's a realistic view that a lot of the analyst targets are also based on their own invested assets, right? They're not independent. These large banks have positions in it, or at the very least, they run funds, right, that have these in it, and there's usually some reason why they're targeting a stock and a position. Now, generally their analysis is based on fundamentals and what they think is going to occur in the company over the next few quarters. But it's a self-serving industry anyways, so they can come after me now. I'm sure they will, but that's just my opinion and my experience from the inside, and sort of on the inside from a business point of view anyways, and then as an independent trader here. So but I would say generally, if you're looking at these targets, if you want to put it's different for each one. You can usually have like a 6 months to 1 year time frame on it, but that is a gross estimation, right? So you can't really blanket that generally, but it's not tomorrow, like Carlos said, right? Like they're not saying that's going to happen in the next day, week, or month. It's usually over the next quarter or year at a minimum.
Yep, 100% agreed with that. All right, friends, let's do some levels. I got 3 stocks: Nvidia, Baba, and Apple. So just 3 for me. And again, I might add some more of these as we get closer to that 9:30 time frame. I might also look at some of the stuff I have here, like Rivian. I might move that up depending how things go. But let's start with these 3. Nvidia, beautiful day yesterday. I mean, just took off there. And today we're slamming against the highs from yesterday, trying to get going as well. Already up almost 1%. Low of the pre-market this morning is going to be down at 119.73. So we'll put a level there. And if we look to the left here, we do have another level actually right around 118.48. If you look on the daily here, got a couple of days just slamming into that. So we'll see if that means anything. If the stock does decide to drop lower here and lose the low of the day, that could be a good area. Now towards the top, above the pre-market high, and which is basically the high from yesterday, where we went up all the way up to that almost at 122 on the daily. Very obviously, clearly, this is going to be a level you want to have down a 124.33. You can see how many times we touched on that level, so that could be interesting. And then the top of that range is going to be 128.23. So that'll be a stretch, but those are the 2 big levels you have above our pre-market high. Within these 2 ranges, right, the big range there, you do have a level in the middle here. It's around 126.69. Again, minor area support and resistance. We'll mark this down and we'll see where that goes there. All right. that is NVIDIA, guys. Looks very good this morning. Tons of volume, 8.4 million shares traded. And already in this pre-market was down at 119, already up at 121 and looking to head higher. Let's take a look at BABA here. So a lot of the Chinese tickers down this morning, including BABA here. Low of the pre-market, 92.96. And then we have our high of our pre-market, 94.80. So once you do that, you're pretty much set. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, including the gap up yesterday and the day before that, have all the levels set up for you. So this is all done here. Don't need to add anything. Keep it nice and simple, nice and clean here. Let's see what BABA does today. Are we going to bounce from here? Is this a pullback, or are we heading back to where we came from on BABA and also PDD? A lot of the Chinese tickers in the same situation there. Another one that looks interesting today is Apple on the daily as well. The last 3 days found a way to sell off, even on the gap up, right? Gapped up here, went up to 233, sold off. Yesterday sold off. The day before sold off. Yesterday gapped up and sold off again. And they were gapping down. So very interesting red action throughout the intraday. Seems like the sell-off is happening after the bell rings here. This morning, the low of the pre-market, 224.78 for Apple. And then we do have a 226.99 is the high of the pre-market. Towards the top, there's plenty of stuff here. Previous day close, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. So you're pretty much covered when it comes to that. And then below the pre-market low right now on the daily, let's get the big levels out of the way. It's going to be this one, 223.21. And then we do have this one, 220.75. So once you mark those two, you pretty much got the big levels on the daily where you're seeing a lot of support and resist. Look at these wicks on Apple. It does not like to be below 220. Look at all this buying pressure. Like there's barely any white candles here. Fell below, came back up. Buyers came in. I mean, they don't like this below 220, man. Wow. So pretty interesting there on that stretch in September, beginning of September there. So we'll see if that can act as great support if we do get down there, right? That'll be a stretch. It'll have to drop a lot to get down to 220, but a big level you definitely want to have down on your charts. That covers it for me. NVIDIA, BABA, and Apple. Again, I got some good secondary on here. I got Rivian, I got Meta, I got DKNG, PDD. I got MU with some good volume as well. We'll see if that decides to do anything. TCOM, it's got some good volume. Normally it doesn't trade well, but we'll keep an eye on it just in case. Today is their day. Peter, let's take us through the moderators list and what our team is watching this morning.
Yeah, a lot of the usual characters, as you would expect, with BABA thrown in for good measure, I think, in a lot of cases. So let's start at the top of the list. We've got Thor coming in first with BABA, Apple, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Eamon says he's going to focus in on PDD as a potential long. Megan's going to be watching just the semiconductor sector with Micron and NVIDIA. Pierre is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Apple, and BABA. So again, the usuals. Brendan is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, BABA, and MU. Myself, keeping an eye on the same 3 that I like to watch, AMD, NVIDIA, and Tesla. And then for good measure, I'm going to throw in BABA, JD in my case, and I'll keep an eye on Merck in case it does something interesting. We do have one IPO potentially coming out today. It's sort of Premier Catering, I think, PC. We'll see if that opens. If it does, I will let you know. And Phil is saying that he's going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. We're still waiting for Brian to come in with his list. And he'll be here soon, I'm sure. He and I think Thor can make it today. Thor will be trading live, which would be good to get Thor back on the microphone. He's usually got some good trades for us. So there you go. He says absolutely he's going to be here. That's awesome. So he'll be trading live in the chat room for all of you friends out there on YouTube. It's going to be good. There you go. He's charged up and ready to go. So Thor's always ready to go. That's good.
Awesome. All right, friends, that covers it. Take a look at our YouTube chat. If you have not had the opportunity to hit that thumbs up, please do so. It helps us out a ton. We're sitting this morning at a low of 182. We'd love to be at 300. We have 566 people watching. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you appreciate what you're watching, if you learned something today, or if you laughed, we would like to charge you a thumbs up for that. So thank you so much.
I'll just
Right.
mention we got a good
Yeah.
question from Joven here asking the stuff on Trading Terminal, all those courses under the Academy, are they the same as what you get at Bearable Traders? The answer is no. Actually, it's all unique material. It's all courses created by mostly by our moderators. There's some external courses there as well from other people, but they're all unique materials. Some great stuff in there that really goes in depth in areas that we don't cover as part of the regular course material at Bearable Traders. So yeah, worth checking out. See if there's anything there that you like. But while we've got a very, very fulsome catalog, I mean, we have thousands of hours of courses here at BearableTraders.com. There's always more stuff to learn out there, and I've got some very unique material under Trading Terminal. So check it out.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we got our buddy Thor. I see his camera being adjusted, ready to go. Thor, you picking up that EV, that truck or what? A Hummer? I saw a few of them this
Yeah, I
weekend.
saw an ad. Are they starting to advertise in the US too? I saw some ads during
Yeah.
football this past weekend.
Yeah.
The ads made it look pretty cool. I got to give them that. Cool ad.
It
for Hummer.
looks, yeah.
The
Yeah.
EV Hummer.
They're really sweet. I mean, I like them a lot. You know, if it was a gas one, I'd probably get it. But I actually got a Jeep. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with that. But they're really cool, and I have noticed that it seems like the prices are coming down on them a little bit in their advertising now. So it'll be cool to see some on the pretty looking vehicles. I like that they can crab walk. You know, they can go this way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the crab walk. Yeah, that is one of their cool features. You could just sort of walk your way sideways. You want to squeak through in traffic? I like it.
Sign me up. That sounds fun. I'm crooked.
Yeah, look, we are operating off of some mobile platforms. I'm going to get out of here just to cut some bandwidth down. Hopefully that helps with the sound.
Same,
So
yeah.
have a good trading day. Good morning, Brian. And
Good morning.
you guys to the Trade Smart, everybody.
Yep, absolutely,
Hey,
guys.
good
Take
morning.
care.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Hey, buddy, what's
Carlos
going
and
on?
Peter. Yeah, not much. I'm not really liking a lot. What the hell happened yesterday? I got up from the trading terminal, went to grab a bite, and everything had taken off. I guess you were in there. You were in there buying everything left and right.
So, we do what we do. So it was really interesting yesterday, which we have the same orders today that we kind of had yesterday, which is not surprising because yesterday we just kind of ran range, which was what we were hoping for. But I threw my screen up in the chat room. You can actually see on the NQ, which is our futures for the Qs, there's a really large seller sitting at 20,200 and a really large buyer. I got to zoom out a little bit. It'll be at 20,000. So 20,000 is where we bounced from yesterday. 20,200 is where we sold from yesterday. So those are going to be those are the edges of our range right now that we're basically dealing with as far as like the generalized market concept goes. So if we start to rally today, it'd probably be a lasting rally up till about that 2,200. Hard to imagine we'd go past 20,200 without rolling over. And if we sell off, though, nothing will get in our way. We could get all the way back to yesterday's lows very easily. I actually really like Apple and Baba today. The reason I like Apple and Baba today is because Apple both of them actually find themselves opening under S4, which means if the market goes weak, they could both do counter trending breakdowns, and they both have gaps on their dailies to the downside. So it could be a really interesting opportunity. If that comes in.
I really don't like Baba, generally speaking, because I just don't like the way it trades. But it's definitely setting up for a possible drop here.
I think today is the first day I've had it on my watch list in like maybe 6 months. Like I never put it on. So I'm with you. I rarely trade it. I probably won't trade it today. It's just in an interesting spot.
Was there something else that came out out of the Chinese Communist Party today that driving looks like all the Asian stocks are down after being up yesterday? It's other news. Is there any other news?
Other news is
Or is it just-
I'm short Jags, by the way. Speaking of football earlier, my football team. If you were buying stock in Jags, you may want to sell that stock immediately. I don't
Okay.
know what's going on with our football team, but we're not doing all right.
So which football team's at? College?
No, NFL,
college?
Jaguars. It's our
Oh,
local
the
NFL
Jaguars.
team.
Yeah.
We play, but this game was actually over in London, and we normally do pretty good in London. So, but we played against Buffalo, and Josh Allen took us to church. Man, it was actually a really nice game. I mean, I appreciate the sport. So, but
Yeah.
short Jags.
I haven't. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't gotten used to all the new politically correct politically correct names for all the teams.
Oh yeah.
So-
Most of them are there. The Chiefs still
Yeah.
hung in top, but what we got like Commanders. You got like them.
Yeah, that's right.
I forget those two myself.
Right.
But yeah, so sector-wise, it'll be interesting to see what we do if we're gonna like make some kind of a lasting move. I forgot to check if there's any news after the open. Let me double check that. For those of you out there in YouTube land, I know you guys have heard this pitch before, but one of my favorite spots to look for news is actually tradingterminal.com/calendar. If you go to tradingterminal.com/calendar, there's an economic calendar right in the middle, and it shows you all the news events that are coming out for the day. And that's really, really helpful to know, because what you'll see the market just spontaneously move, and you'll say, why did the market do that? Or why did the market chop, then move? And then you'll realize at 10 o'clock a.m., glad I checked, we have new home sales numbers coming out and new home sales month over month, which is normally, you can see we have 3 stars here showing it as a high impact news event, right? So there's a good chance our market's going to be choppy for the first half hour today, or make a rally to one edge of the range. And then when the news comes out, we'll volume spike and then start running the other, or make that decisive move then. So 10 a.m. will be the time period to really look at. If you're in an opening position, be very cautious of it at 10 a.m. because you don't want to give back a well-held position just because of a quick news spike. So you maybe even want to exit and then re-enter if the news comes out still in your favor. So after that, I don't see any other major news after that. So likely the 10 o'clock news will be the news that makes us go directional, if we go directional.
Yeah, tomorrow morning we've got, before the market opens, we've got the usual Thursday jobless claims. And we do have durable goods orders, that kind of stuff. So there'll be some market moving news in the morning before the open. I think I'm going to watch Donkey Kong, now that somebody mentioned it. Seems to be up almost 5%. So
I didn't watch that in a long time. That was an old buddy of ours a while ago.
Yeah, exactly. Bob, I can't really make heads or tails of right now what it's going to do.
DKNG, good old Donkey Kong. I mean, I guess it is sports season, so it makes sense that DraftKings.
Yeah,
I wonder if DraftKings is always a buy
possible,
like a month before football starts.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what percentage of their business is football versus some of the other sports like baseball. But yeah, football's
during this season,
popular.
During this season, we've got baseball season and football season and MLS is right now. So I mean, really all the major sports play during this time period. And you'll notice in August, we had a really large buy in there, off of $30 in August, and then it retested and bought again at $30, and then it started a rally mid-August, which kind of coincides. Yeah, hockey starting also, Jason, correct?
Yeah, hockey.
Right.
I was just going to say.
This is kind of the season for sports betting to start. So DKNG, keep that in mind, everyone. Remind me August, because I won't remember August next year. Let's take a look at DKNG.
Put it in your calendar.
We might be buying. Put a reminder in your calendar. Ding, 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 people. Good luck today.
Yeah, it could be a good seasonal play. All right, let's see where things pop here. Honestly, not liking a lot right now, but let's see what happens. We're just going to wait around for a few minutes. The SPY has gone green.
Yes, it has.
NVIDIA's getting some interest, so is Tesla and AMD.
Watching Apple here under S4 to see if it buys up through it or if it stays under it.
Trying along on NVIDIA here, just at 122.40. Looks like it's going to break out here.
I'm still just kind of letting stuff go. A lot of buying out of the gate.
Yep. Take a little off at 65 there. 122.65. Just give myself some
Tesla
room
has a
for some
really
in case we
big
get some
selling level
slippage.
here.
Yeah. Qs are gone green. Everything's gone green except IWM. Let's see what NVIDIA does here. Getting out of it, the rest of it. Marginally green trade. Dang, just Tesla's really busting out here. Let's see what that looks like. I should share my screens. All right.
I grabbed I went short on Apple at S4. So it's not, the market actually looks relatively strong, but I still liked Apple opening under S4, and there's a good bid on Apple to the downside. So if it squeezes, I'll get out of it. We kind of have this, yeah.
Tesla was the trade for sure.
Yeah, I was watching that one. I should have done something with it.
Well, let's just see what it does on this little pullback.
Got a little bit more distance until we can get up to some levels that I'm interested in using on that one anyway, so. Got a lot of topside still in the ES and the NQ. Yeah. Kind of already started buying and moving up, so let's give it some time.
Yeah, Qs are busting a move here. Okay, I got long some Tesla. Got a couple of big events coming up on Tesla. Got their self-driving thing and their deliveries, I think, at the end of September. selling. I'm just selling a bit of Tesla. Playing it. I'm doing it with options. So I'm playing the what is it? The 255 options.
Tesla has a lot of sellers here. There's a really big seller on Tesla at 260. Like really big seller. Where is that? 260 is just under R4. I'm watching here to see if we find a seller in this area here, because we're kind of near one of the first areas I start to look for. We're right near previous day's high. So obviously for this to be previous day's high, there has to be a seller here. So you got to kind of keep that in mind.
I'm emptying out my call position here.
The CVD is also actually quite red right now. So we've been
it is a little red for sure. Yeah. There is some orders stacked to the upside though, without a lot of orders to the downside.
A lot of orders to the upside.
Yeah.
If it fails here, it's just going to be because of a lack of buying volume. It would drop to like 250 to try and find a buyer.
So I'm out of my Tesla position, but I was got into those calls at $5 and got out of them around 530, 540.
Yeah, I think that works.
DKNG is a dog's breakfast. Wow, AMD is ripping. And just been watching Tesla. Tesla could come back.
When you got out, I got in when you got out.
Did you? Nice.
I threw a couple shares short at 256. If it comes back up, the order book's really strong, so I'm not going to go against us. I'm basically fading this book because I don't think there's enough volume for it to break out right now. So for it to go up to those levels, so we're going to see what happens.
I love that because when you mentioned that, I thought, you know what, if Thor's looking at this and bearish, I'm getting out.
The tandem team. So this is kind of the other thing. If we go back like 2 months ago on Tesla 2, we found a lot of selling here as well. So it's a really natural spot to kind of look to see if it happens again. And it's near yesterday's high. So I kind of thought maybe, but if we buy up off of this level, this thing can easily still keep going. So I'm not being like diamond handed with this thing by any means.
No.
So
I mean, what Tesla gets on a tear.
I cut the Apple position.
Yeah, Tesla gets on a roll at. Excuse me, pullbacks get bought. Yeah, Jared mentioned inside day, so we did come up on the Qs right to yesterday's high and rejected there. So
when I say the book is bullish, what do I mean? If you can see my book map here, Eric, that I'm sharing in the main room. What I mean by bullish is when we're looking at the order book, looking at the distribution of orders across the book gives you a pretty fair idea on what the institutional intention is, right? So if you're looking at Tesla to the top side, you can see at 260, there's an incredibly large order at 260, right? So, and then there's lots of orders stacked to the top side. At every single large number, these are all institutional orders. This is the direction they want to go, right? And we can establish that very easily by looking at this. But we also have some institutional buyers, and the buying block is down at 250. So this is our selling range, right, where we're expecting to sell from. This is our buying range that we're expecting to buy from, right? And then this is our transitionary range as we move between buyers up to sellers, back to buyers, up to sellers, and back to buyers, right? So although the intention here is to go up, right, we don't necessarily go up. It's the general rule of thumb is with volume over time, price will move to size, right? So the intention will be to move it, but they need volume and time to do so. So if we don't have enough buying to buy through these limit sells, then we will move lower to encourage short sellers to come in, right? And then we'll come down, fill into these large buyers, and then squeeze the short sellers or have them cover either back up, and that will allow us to go up and negotiate those higher levels. Look at all the selling since we hit that order block.
Yeah, some selling's starting to kick in here. AMD, Tesla's right at the VWAP right now.
Nothing too juicy yet, Jordan. Don't forget we have news coming out at 10 a.m. That will likely be the news that moves the market around. So do not be overtly shocked if some things are kind of like hanging out and waiting for a decision to be made.
I don't know if I had one good trade on Tesla right now. I'm not sure I want to take this VWAP trade, although see what it does at the VWAP here. There's an order at 254 just below it. It's probably going to go there. Yeah. Look at that. We're going to fill that 254 order on Tesla. I'm guessing it's going to bounce here. This is a 20 EMA.
So you can see I'm short here from just under 256.
Yeah, that was a great short.
I'm going to try and run back to 250. So we are in a higher range, so it's a little sketchy because I'm going to have to get through the buying range. But but I'm ahead of pre-market low, so I think it's doable.
All the indexes went back red.
Yeah, everything's kind of rolling over too. Futures rolled over too.
Yeah.
Too also, as well.
Man, that was such a. I mean, I missed it, but that it was like just an epic double bottom yesterday. Sell off on that consumer confidence news, and then found a bottom, and then popped up, and then did a second bottom. And then if you looked at NVIDIA or any of those stocks, it just ripped from there.
It really did. It was so beautiful. It's those kind of moments where you look at the market, makes you smile because it's totally something you would expect to happen too. It just looked really nice. So, sorry, I missed the question. Why do you think the 260 is a big selling order, not a buy order? You can't actually put limit orders out to buy above the price on the book. Limit order above the price, if you put it onto the book, would be instantly filled at the price. Or not. I mean, you can't put them on. There is no bid that's above the ask. So in order to have a bid above the ask, which buyers do buy above the ask, those contracts or concepts need to be pre-negotiated. Right. Those are institutional buys that happen, but the market maker actually has to move the price to that level and then negotiate it at that level. So, but if it's on the book and it's a limit, if it's above the price, it's a seller. If it's below the price, it's a buyer, always.
Yeah. If it was a buy, it would be immediately snapped up.
That's true, Javier, but that's not on the market. Those orders are being handled through TWS and are being held on their server side. Those aren't actually. Those are like using a market order, an order that executes a market on limit. Those are all server side orders. Those aren't actually being held on the exchange. They fire a market once that limit order is hit. All right. The VPA on that pullback there on Tesla wasn't too bad for me. So I kind of like we sold, and then as we pulled back, our volume declined a little bit as we went into PDC, and now we're kind of selling as we move lower. So that's, looking decent. We have the 50 SMA, or my ever so favorite, the poor man's trend line, is what we're kind of holding us up right now, along with the CP. But if we can crack the 50, we'll go and see if we got more buyers at 252. If not, we'll keep on holding.
Yeah, the SPY and the Qs went back green, so just market's trying to figure out what to do here.
What to do?
What are we gonna do?
The market never made it all the way to the selling range, like all the way up to R3 or R4, where we normally get our sellers to come in yet. So, but we are struggling to find buyers at this level. So, I mean, we know that NQ is carrying a very large buy order down at it's 20,000. So which was going to put a big buyer on the Qs likely down around that same level. So if we can't kind of get going, it'd be really easy to see the Qs come back down to like 483, or even go as low as 481 to go find good buyers. So just keep an eye on it. Got news coming out in like a little bit. That's probably what'll get things moving. We'll probably kind of dance around a little bit until the news comes out.
Right on. Dancing around. So we still got 10 minutes before the new home sales. So Tesla's just chopping along here, trying to figure out which direction to take. NVIDIA, wow, NVIDIA's actually breaking out here. It's getting to R3.
Yeah, Tesla found a nice order.
How's the weather down in Florida there, man? Sunny and warm?
So far, so awesome. But tomorrow things start getting a little spicier. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I'll keep you guys posted on my schedule tomorrow. It's going to be kind of, the hurricane's going to hit like the Big Bend area of Florida most likely, which means we're going to take the east side of it, which shouldn't be too bad. Because that's the weaker side, like the feeder band side,
Right.
but you get tornadoes and stuff with that. So but the winds normally aren't as bad. So we're gonna keep an eye on it. So just in case I'm no internet tomorrow, you never know. But I got a generator and stuff, so we should be okay.
You're all good.
My house floats. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool though.
I can't remember what's the name of this one.
I don't know. Helene, something like that.
Helene. They had a Helen, now they have a Helene.
It's kind of wild that we're in September and we're only at an H. I remember a few years ago by September we'd be on like Z's by now. We were ducking those things left and right a few years ago.
I'm kind of annoyed they've never had like a Brian or a Thor.
Right?
Hurricane.
That's what I'm saying. Can I get a hurricane prophet of profit?
Or Hurricane Jared.
Hey, we don't talk about Hurricane Andrew.
Nah.
Hurricane Andrew is why we have parrots and monkeys in Florida.
AMD's popping back up here.
How's AMD doing? I haven't looked at that today.
It's been it went for a rip at the open, and it pulled back, and now it's bouncing back again, just a little bit choppy here.
It's in a fun spot. Oh yeah.
Nvidia's going to.
I like AMD here a lot. It's right near R3 on the month, and it's near R3 on the intradaily as well. Really good selling range. Not saying that it's selling. I'm just saying it's a really good selling range. Got to wait for everything to start selling more, but that's a fun spot. Last month, our high of last month on AMD was 162.04. So just a couple bucks higher than this. Oh, there was a Hurricane Brian. It was in 1968.
Ah, there you go. 1968. Man.
Good year.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not have been. I wasn't there.
Might not have been, yeah. The Tesla's struggling there.
Yeah, I went back to VWAP in a high value area and then started to sell a little bit. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, CVD is pretty red on NVIDIA. There's lots of selling. AMD is selling.
That's good. All right, back to the poor man's trend line on Tesla. Let's see what happens. We got to lose that 50. It'll lose it with volume too if it does it. All right, there it goes. It just wicked it.
SPY's gone red again, but we're just hanging around here.
Tesla, I need 250, 250.50. I'm going for 250.63. So I'm right in front of a buyer, good buyer at 250. So fingers crossed. This is the 50 SMA here, which is my favorite MA on the 1 minute at least. It's an incredibly good moving average. And you can see here, I call it the poor man's trend line because I'm kind of bad at drawing trend lines, but so I use the 50 SMA basically as a trend line. But you can see here, look how we're holding this thing right now. It's pretty wild.
That's on the 1 minute chart.
Yeah. For like momentum stuff, I love your 920. You know what I mean? Like, because you'll always find that 920 cross is so valuable, and then man, I love that for momentum. So, and then for like kind of like trending, like on a shorter time frame, I like the 50. Really nice. When most big reversals happen after the cross of the 50. So especially if I get extended from the 50, I like to play short back into it, and then if it crosses it, that normally ends up being a really nice trade for me. But there is a buyer camping right here on it.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a buyer right at sort of that 253.20 area. Keeps coming in. Wow, SPY is like flat, not doing anything. Q's up
really
a little.
Isn't.
Yeah.
That news is coming out in 6 minutes.
Yeah, you just look at the SPY here. I mean, we've really just chopping in a range right now. The Qs are still they're testing that yesterday's high right now. Trying to break out of it. Everything's kind of gone flatlining here. Everything's kind of gone flatlining here last 10 minutes. AMD's been really choppy in a range. Tesla, same thing. NVIDIA, same thing. BABA looking like it's trying to break out to the upside here. Let's take a look at what we've got on Bookmap for it. It's nothing.
ES
Nothing's
is right under it selling. It's interesting.
nothing speaking
We
to
keep
me
trying
now.
to push, and we're getting no buys on the futures when we try
Yeah.
and push. Like anytime we sell, our volume increases. Anytime we buy, our volume starts to decrease. So it just doesn't look like they've got buyers at this level, at least not right now. So it's there. If they can't find some buyers here, they're gonna just have to rotate lower and then go find some. There's just no advantage for them to stay here. They're not making money right now. So at some point, they're gonna get impatient and go find it. No, Apple broke for me. I liked Apple for a counter trending breakdown, and then it came back through S4. So Apple's kind of a broken trade for me.
I'm not liking anything right now.
No.
Just let's just see. Tesla's breaking back out here, eh? To the upside, got through that VWAP. $57.20 on the SPY is
That's squeeze.
yeah. Yeah, what do we got for Tesla? September 27th, we've got deliveries, Q2 deliveries. 2nd of October, we've got the robotaxi, and then earnings on the 16th. So a lot of stuff coming up on Tesla. Not necessarily today, but the Q2 numbers should be interesting. I think they probably are struggling in China with all the competition. Wow, Nvidia broke out. The Qs broke high a day here.
Mm-hmm. We got 2 minutes till our news.
Yeah, there's a big ass order at 125 on Nvidia.
All right, let's go say hi to my people on YouTube. I feel like I've been neglecting y'all. It's because probably there just hasn't been probably haven't been a lot of likes. When we don't get likes,
Yeah.
Kind of lose the dopamine. Just kidding.
I think you're going to have to beg, Thor.
Beg for likes. I wish we could offer stuff. Like I want to offer things, people. But I don't get to. I was gonna offer. So I have a new thing I want to try and do, which is I want to try and get one full size crude contract, and then accept delivery on it and have it go to Andrew's condo. So he would have a Lambo with no insurance and 1,000 barrels of oil. It just sounds hilarious to me. No, just me? No?
Sounds good to me.
I think it sounds hilarious.
Everyone needs a barrel, a couple of barrels of oil.
I've seen YouTube chat begging to bring Thor back. So YouTube, if you like Thor, give him a like.
Yeah, there we go.
And if not for me, then likes for Brian.
And likes for Brian.
Yeah.
They both make you money. And it costs you nothing to like it.
If you have hair, you like for Brian. If you don't, you like for me.
We're coming up on this news event here.
All right, let's watch the ES here. See if anything happens.
See what the new home sales look like.
Get some numbers.
So the numbers should be out by now. Qs are breaking out, SPY's breaking out. So they must have been favorable, whatever that is. New home sales probably, with the interest rates dropping, probably starting to pick up a bit here. I would think.
D breaking news. D breaking
Right.
news.
Peter needs some Energizer batteries by the sounds of it.
Yeah, can you tell that I'm bored? New home sales are out pretty much right on target. 700,000 was the expected number. 716 was the number. Yeah, not that exciting. And as you can see, the market said, yeah, whatever.
Boring.
So there you go.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, pretty boring. Sorry, breaking news. I will now fade into the background again.
Thank you, Peter. Just get ahead, just back away into that bush.
If Ben Stein was to give you the news report, this is a beautiful, amazing news moment we are going to bring to you. We hope everybody enjoys the news.
That's it. I love that. Fades back into the bush. Pita. All right. Well, I'm getting bored, so I'm going to go long NVIDIA.
Best reason to long ever.
Yeah, exactly. I think 125. I'm looking at this 125 level here. There's a lot of orders here. Qs are moving up. We're getting up to your R3 level on the Qs here.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging, waiting to get in this sweet spot. It's a higher range, so I wouldn't mind being higher than this. So if it keeps pressing up and making highs, I'll let this thing get all the way up to, we've got the thing I was looking at on like the month. Technically, some of our monthly targets is like 58.70 even on the ES, and it seems like we were talking earlier this morning that they may have committed to making that. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. The one thing since the news has come in, I haven't really seen a lot of buying.
No.
So the news came in, we didn't really see like a big algorithmic response where we just like went boom and started buying. So the response so far to that news has been incredibly relaxed.
Muted.
So it's been kind of a relaxed feel.
I got a great comment on YouTube saying that I'm getting bored, so I'm going to long NVIDIA. Should be a shirt. We should sell those.
That is a
Get
good
that
shirt.
merch going.
Yeah.
That was from Diesel.
Well, I think this is the best trade I can find right now. Small size, because I just have a decent day going, and I'm just trying to keep people entertained. I probably wouldn't. Maybe I would have taken this trade, but I think it's going to 125. It's just really it's quite extended. That's the only thing I don't like about this. It's kind of working its way around here. The Qs are sort of stalling out here at R3. Same with the SPY. Yes, we're getting kind of quiet. It just seems like it's almost like a Friday long weekend in the summer.
Right.
Here we go. Come on, NVIDIA. Giddy up.
We'll get something going here in a minute, hopefully. Not every day is a party.
Yeah,
Some days.
not every day's a ripper. Come on, you can do it. CBD's gone green. We're getting buyers.
Coogle's order book institutionally is still quite strong, but it does have buyers coming in below the price. So if the market rolls, Google certainly could roll with it. But right now, they seem like they're really intent on trying to buy up through here, but we'll see how they do. We're at a very kind of an important selling level here for a lot of these tickers. This 20,250-ish kind of area on NQ is a big deal. ES is kind of in a similar spot. So if they can't catch a bid here, but so far they're doing a pretty good job. I'm still in Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla double top there.
Yeah,
Seller back at 256. He's still there.
Yeah, I was down about a half an hour a minute ago. I'm back up almost a half an hour now. So
cool.
We'll see what happens. Keep it rolling. Or I'm a little bit more than that now.
Yeah, got a big volume on NVIDIA, or a bit of a volume spike there on that move, but Q is still looking like they're trying to break through this R3 level.
You can see my stop on my screen. It was right at 257.03. I'm running it above this 256 and 257 sellers basically. So what I'm kind of wagering on is that we're not going to go through those sellers. Still could. Look at the 50 again. Told you the 50 SMA is a gold mine. You can just buy the 50.
What is that? The on the 1 minute chart?
SMA. Yeah, 50 SMA on Tesla. If you look at the 50 SMA on a 1 minute right now,
okay, it's
just so pretty.
Bounced right
Once it
off
loses it, the reversal generically ensues if it loses it. But you can see from 943 all the way through 952, it was constantly holding it as it was moving up, and then now it just tested it. If it breaks it, that'll probably be Peter's Mountain Pass strategy. That for newer traders that are trying to get a good topping or reversal strategy that maybe not as complex as trying to get through all the pivots and all that stuff, but you just want some good reversal rules. I really feel like Peter's Mountain Pass kind of has it all, which it's basically a double topping pattern with a lower second, and then it uses a 50 cross along with a volume signal. All my favorite things. So just for those of you who are looking for more of a pattern way to approach that, it's a really nice one.
Tesla's still looking a little weak here. It's back at the VWAP. It did that prior candle bounced right off PDC.
Watch again. Look at the 50 on this thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That last 2 minute candle just bounced right off PDC there. I'm kind of losing hope with my NVIDIA trade here.
Drive that thing. Look at the response to that stinking moving average. Tell me there's not a market maker's algo using that thing.
No, it's sitting right at PDC. That's why we're, and that could be another reason we're holding here. But
I actually like the VPA here. I still think I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling better about this position now than I even was earlier. But someone was just saying in there that was a really hard pullback, Thor. Really hard to hold through. Believe it or not, it really wasn't. The only reason I can say that is confidence in trading, right, is not knowing what the stock will do. It's knowing what you will do. Right, having confidence in trading is knowing what your response to situations are going to be, not to knowing what's going to happen. You never will know what's going to happen, but having confidence is knowing what you're going to do under these scenarios, right? So I didn't have anxiety thinking about stopping out of that trade because I don't move to break even. I stop out for a max loss on all my trades, right? So that's just kind of a very normal thing for me. So, but if you kind of keep that in mind as you're trading, and you're really trying to gain that confidence, don't focus so much on gaining confidence through the chart's response to what you do. Gain confidence in knowing what you're going to do as a response to the charts.
Great advice. Okay, here we go. Got a video. Order just showed up on Tesla at 253.50.
You can't. I don't partial. So I don't move to I just take profit. So I use like a 4-to-1 basically, RVR. So I'm risking 1R and my target is going to be 4R. So I won't take any partials or move my stop in there. Like yesterday, I had almost a 20R day yesterday. So I had an absolutely fantastic day. So if this trade ends up not working, I'm not overtly concerned with that. But I really feel pretty good about this trade overall. And the reason why I'm saying that is because still here, if you look at the daily, if you go back and look, we've done a lot of selling here. We've done a lot of selling at this level, and we're now trying to push ourselves up into where there's obviously been a lot of selling before. So I just kind of felt like the right spot for this, a little bit better. So we'll see. I'd be happy to lose this one.
20-hour day yesterday. That must have been nice. What was your what was the trade?
Well, the stink. I hit Nvidia for a short, then I hit Amazon for a short, and then I longed the SPY and the Qs once it got to the bottom. So, but I did it with futures. So I longed ES and NQ off the bottom. So it was just like, it was everything. Yesterday was it was a Thor day. If you're going to, if you were talking to Jared, Jared would say yesterday was a Thor day. It was a wide range day that had big choppy moves between the top and the bottom. It's a perfect storm for my trading style as far as, capturing profit. So, and I made sure to take as much advantage of it as possible. That's for sure.
Yeah, I looked at that double bottom chart on some of those stocks like Nvidia. I thought, oh man, that was I had serious regret of missing out. Had serious FOMO. Brendan, put up a trade here. Nice trade on AMD. Held through that bit of a pullback there. Beauty.
Tesla is still doing Tesla type things, which I'm not very excited about.
Yeah, I'm just not getting any traction on this Nvidia trade. It's gone nowhere fast.
Right. You can see here, look at that 50 still doing its job. If we can crack that thing, it's going to be awesome. But so far, so no. Alex betting against me on Tesla. Dang it. Where's that ban button? Don't I have a ban button in here? How do I boot somebody? Oh, I'm just kidding, Alex. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You can take a opposite position.
I would if I got mad every time someone took an opposite position. Well, Brian and I wouldn't be such good friends.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We literally just did that earlier.
Hell yeah. There's definitely a seller there on NVIDIA.
We just did that. Man, I would love to get over 400 likes today before we sign. What time are we signing up? Like 10:30?
10. Unless there's somebody, I don't know if we've got do we have any other presenter coming on today, Brent?
Yep. Nathan McConnell, our new moderator. He will be coming on at 10:30.
Oh, our blue jacket guy.
Yeah, so I'm really, really excited about this. So Nathan is one of my Padawans, one of my mentees that I worked with. He's been, I've reviewed his trades for a long time, and so he's a really great guy, really amazing order book reader. It's really been so awesome to see him grow and advance as a very, very talented trader. I really, it's going to be really cool. He's going to be doing some Bookmap stuff with BBT. Andrew's bringing him into BBT to do some stuff like that, which is really exciting. And then he's going to be doing some stuff here for today. So just everybody, make sure you bring the love for my dude Nathan. He is also a blue jacket winner for Bookmap. So he, if anyone's going to talk about the order book, he's definitely someone you would want to see do that. Speaking of Bookmap, for anyone who is in or around Bookmap or does that, today at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm actually going to be doing a Pro Series webinar for Bookmap on how I use my my pivot system along with Bookmap to manage my day and my trades and stuff like that. So if that's and I believe that is free as long as you're a member of Bookmap over there. So 2:30 Eastern. So if you, and I believe it's free to join it. So come by and make sure to say hi and come by for that webinar. It's going to be an interesting one because it's not really a prepped one. I mean, I have subjects I want to talk about, and we're going to have a live screen to talk about them. So it should be fun. It's on Bookmap's Discord server, I believe. Oh, man. Getting under that 50. Don't tease me, Tesla. Alex. Yeah.
He's bouncing along there, eh?
Look at it hold. Alex, look at this stinking thing. Man, I love the 50 SMA is so good. Why am I rooting for you? I'm short here.
He's bouncing along there. Qs are breaking all your high of day right now. Qs are just on fire again.
Wow.
Yeah. There's definitely a sell
all the way to R4.
iceberg.
Made it.
I think we're going to there's definitely an iceberg seller here on NVIDIA. You're just not letting it go up. They keep pounding away at it though. Somebody just front running that 125 bid. 125 ask. AMD is high of day. Here we go. Patience. You just have to have patience. Patience. Here we go.
Patience.
Got a bit of a volume spike there, getting us through that 124.60. Come on, you know you want the 125.
Right back. I'm gonna go grab something.
Okay. Here we go. Here comes the push to 125. Giddy up. Let's go. I try to front run this a bit. I think I might take some profits at sort of like 94. Oh, damn! Come on, don't do that.
All right, I'm back. I'm gonna get some fresh water.
Yeah.
Right, Tesla's book's actually looking a little stronger than it was before, so this is turning out to be extra boring. So I was thinking, right now we have 383 likes. If we can get to over 400, I will stay on till 10:45. If we can get over 500, I'll stay all the way till 11. So it's up to YouTube how long we stay on the microphone here. So if we stay under 400, oh, we have 413. All right, so now we're going for 500. You got me for 45. That was easy.
I am.
Just a little incentive to make it go up. Nicely done, Thor.
There we go. That's more.
Okay, I've got an order in at 124.90. Yeah, I've got an order in at 124.94, and then we'll see if we can really punch through 125 after that. But I'm just front running this a bit. It's just taken a long time to get here. It's been a long road. Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
So, first off, great screen name. Get to the choppa. That's awesome screen name. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the choppa. So that's a great screen name. How do you guys react to these sudden drops, even when the stock goes up? NVIDIA is very specifically doing that. So, I think that's different for the trader, right, Brian? Like, I'm kind of more of a range trader, so I really don't care if the price goes up or goes down. I'm just basically, once I'm in until I'm right or I'm wrong. So there's kind of a different there. But Brian is a significantly more attuned trader to price action. So he takes advantages of smaller movements. So he's going to be significantly more sensitive than I am to price fluctuation. He might get out just because he can get back in higher, right? He may just make that decision arbitrarily, say, you know what, I think it's going to pop. I could hold. It's going to go down later, but I'm going to go ahead and take this position off and hopefully get back in short. at a better price or get long at a lower price, right? Where me, I'll just hold regardless. So it really kind of just depends on your trading style.
Here we go. Got him 1 penny away now. Yeah, I mean, I know where I'm stopping out. So, and I guess you just have to kind of honor your stop. And like Thor says, I mean, if it does, if it's a little bit of market maker tomfoolery, you can always get back in. Come on, we're like 1 penny away. Jesus.
So hey, Nicola, welcome. Good to see you in the YouTube chat. Not many of us are using IBKR, not all of us. This is actually Thinkorswim that you're seeing. Oh, well, you can't see mine, but I use Thinkorswim through Schwab. I also trade with Ninjas because I have a futures brokerage account through Ninja that I utilize. But most of us who are using IBKR are using DOS. DOS Trader Pro is it's kind of like, I would say, kind of the house platform. I would say that the majority, like Andrew, who our fearless leader, who finally saw messaging from him for the first time in a long time coming through. He was like, I've got 4G. He was so excited. So he uses DOS, for instance.
Can you believe that? I was like 1 penny away.
You forget that Peter and I were going to write a book at one point in time, and it was going to be a coffee table literature, and the title was going to be just called "Stopped Out to the Penny," or "Missed It by a Penny." Like it was just all going to be screenshots of our trades because we have so many of them where we were stopped out by a penny, and then it ran the other direction, or it went to your target, stopped like 2 or 3 pennies away from it, and then ran the other direction. We decided not to publish it because we were afraid that it would cause nightmares. And Peter and Pete. No, I'm kidding. We thought about doing it. It would just be pretty hilarious, right? 1 penny away.
Yeah.
Very good. But we were afraid we would trigger too many traders with it. No, it'd be funny.
We're going to take another run at this. I know that. I know we're taking another run at this. Tesla bounced off that PDC again. Previous day close.
Tesla,
here we go. We're back to the 90s.
Not giving it up. I don't know why Tesla's fighting me today. Hopefully you're still holding your position, Alex. Hang on to it, buddy. The order book is quite bullish. I mean, there are plenty of orders to the top side. If this thing wants to go, it's gonna go. I just don't think it's got the gas. But volume can change at any moment, and then that'll be different. But good for you, good man, good. I would have loved to have bought this thing at S3 right at the open. It just went too fast. I was hoping it would have consolidated around S3 at the open. I would have longed this thing and hit a target on it really easy. But it popped so fast. Like I didn't get into it.
I am going to take half off of my NVIDIA trade here at 71, 124.71. I don't like that it people keep front running this order book. It's getting me nervous.
I shorted a little in Q.
So Q's rolling.
We got to R4. We went right into R4 and started selling off of it. Now we're crossing the 50. So let's party.
Let's tango. That's
All right,
pretty.
everybody out
Very,
there. So for you and everybody, it's 10:30. So we're gonna do a little rollover into our dude Nathan. I just wanted to give
right
you guys
on.
a little bit of front story on this guy as he comes into you. Nathan is a blue jacket winner for Bookmap, one of the greatest, one of the best order book readers I know. Really dynamic trader, really cool stuff. Also happens to be a mentee of mine and someone I've worked with, so I may be a little biased. That is awesome, but I just hope everyone enjoys getting to talk with him. He's now a new moderator at Variable Traders, which we're really excited about. So hope everyone enjoys getting to hear from this guy, and have a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to stick around and listen to Nathan myself. Not often you get to listen to a blue jacket guy, and he's a good trader if Thor's been coaching him. So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining us, and welcome, Nathan.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Can you hear me fine? Okay. Yeah, it's good to be in here. Brian, I think I've helped you with a little bit of Bookmap in the past, so I'm going to start showing some of my settings, showing how I use it, and try to help people get used to it, put it into their trading. So I use it a little bit different than most people, so I think Thor knows that. I'm pretty extensive in how I use it and what I do. But yeah, today at 12:30, or I'm sorry, 12, right after Thor's off in the webinar room. Did you take this short on MNQ, Thor? Off R4?
Yeah, actually I did. So I was
Yeah, I've
short
got
on
that.
Tesla as well, and I've been stuck in that all morning. So
Yeah, I've got a short now
it's kind of a
I got a short now on AMD, so I'm trying to manage two trades. Two trades at once.
Welcome to being a mod, buddy. You're managing
I know.
trades, answering questions.
Yeah, I don't know how
It's
you
a lot of
guys
fun.
get through it with being on the show and trading and concentrating on all this, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's
Is
an
Apple,
absolute blast.
is Tesla the only stock you did?
Yeah, I try to trade on Apple that I lost. So right now I'm kind of hoping Tesla works out for me, just because it would be nice, not have to do that.
Yeah, if it would have gone
So
down.
so we got some nice jersey comments in the YouTube. They're liking your jersey, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, the Jordan 93 All-Star. This is probably my favorite jersey. You need a.
So talking about the Bookmap thing. What do you think on like Bookmap? How did that like make a transition in your trading when you started like focusing more on like the book and more on like the process versus just kind of reacting to like price fluctuations and such?
When you started using it. So
Yeah.
after you started using it, I just can't see the level 2 like Brian can, like Andrew can, and some of those other guys. So when you started using Bookmap and I started looking at it, I was like, holy cow, that makes sense to me. Like I can see that. And so I'm able to see what everyone else can see on the level 2 and time and sales. I just see it so much better on Bookmap. But it's essentially using it for the same.
I think having the historical value that Bookmap brings as well is really cool, right? Because even with the level 2, one thing I didn't like is I read the level 2 okay, but being able to see what happened when you were here before, that's pretty beneficial.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just to look back and see price action and notice what happened there before or what's happening there now. If it's the same thing happening over and over again, or is it something that is different this time. And it's just easy to see, especially reversal patterns are just so much easier for me to see in Bookmap. Some of those things kind of get lost within the candles, especially when they get really wicky. And so like having like this reversal signal here on AMD, it looks a little wicky and not as clean on the chart, but on Bookmap it just looks it just looks nice. Came into 161, absorbed, kicked down, came in with less volume, and then kicked down hard.
Sorry to interrupt. Nathan, could you share your screen with us? Just go to the vMix link, and at the bottom, there should be a share screen button. And we'd love to see what you're looking at.
Cool, yeah. And when you after he gets that pulled up,
which one is it, Brent?
It should be at the bottom. If you want to open up the PDF, it shows you a photo example of where to find it. But
Okay,
if you
let
just
me get back
hover
to
over
that.
the video, at the bottom, there should be a share screen link.
Yeah, I see the camera and then the screen, but I don't.
If you just hover over the player, it should show up at the bottom of the vMix tab. It's kind of like Google Chat, right?
Okay.
yeah, when I hover over
I'm not
mine, I
seeing it
see
here.
yeah, I'm kind of with Nate. When I hover over mine, I see a hang up call, I see a video, I see a
Yes.
microphone, I see a square box that makes my stuff turn on and off, and then an expand, and then a chat. But those are the only 5 controls we see. I don't see a screen share one in there.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
I
I
always
have
share
too.
through the chat room, like through BBT is when I always share is through the BBT room. But
Yeah, that's all I see
get
as
this.
well, Brent.
So while we're looking that up, Nathan, do you trade strategies more often, or do you usually just go off the book map?
I use the chart to find my cam levels and just everything you've taught me about reading candles, about looking for reversals, about signals at specific cams. And then I just overlay that onto Bookmap. So I'll take my cam levels, I'll put them in Bookmap, and I'm just looking for those same signals in there. It's just in a tighter
really
view
cool.
and what I like to get into.
Yeah, I like that. I like being able to use like where our institutional areas are and saying, okay, this is where I expect it to reject. And if there's a cam level right there, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
there's a seller and this is a selling spot. Kind of works out pretty nicely. Once we Peter C, once we get things up and running, we can pop up some. We'll try and get some showing going on.
I sent an example of what you should see. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah, I
Did
do
you
not
Yeah,
have
we
log
don't
in?
that
got
little.
that.
Did
I
you log
don't
into
have
the
that
We
little
don't got
advanced?
thing on
that.
the screen.
Did you log into the advanced option when you logged in?
That is a solid question.
That might be the reason.
So when I logged in, I logged in through the link, and then just typed in my name. I don't even know if I knew there was
Yeah, you
one.
got to
I
click
could
the
try
link.
and
Then above, there should be an option to do the advanced setup, and you have to click that. Should be in the doc if you want to follow those steps. But you might have to, Thor, you don't have to do that. But
yeah.
Nathan, if you want to
Okay.
log out, close the tab, log back
Yeah, okay.
in, and click on the advanced link, that should give you the ability to share your screen. In the meantime, Thor, keep them entertained.
Keep them entertained. Oh man. So I'm still holding my Tesla trade, which is still doing Tesla things, and I'm thinking Alex maybe becomes the winner on this one. So we could run some and some under overs here on Alex or me. Right now, it's looking like Alex. But while Nathan gets reset in there, we can certainly do that. But so I'm kind of being boring right now because I'm hanging out to see, kind of what the result of this trade is. One of the things I do risk management wise is I don't like to carry more than 2 positions at a time. And if one of my positions fails, I'll wait for the second position to succeed or fail, and then we can go from there. So right now I'm waiting to see kind of what the result of this. If this one doesn't work out, then I'll probably look for another trade or two. If it does work, I'll probably be done for the day. Generically, if I go 50-50, I stop for the day. So, Bookmap is at 230 HCAM today. On Tesla, my entry is 255.75. So I'm technically red right now. So my stop is if it goes through 257, which right now it is working on. So
Here we go.
all right, our man Nathan.
So like here, we have R4
There we go.
up here, 161.11. And just like this is the kind of stuff that I like to see in between all these candles. Big absorption up, kick down, less buying volume, harder sell off for an entry. All through all of this right here. Just these probably 3 candles. So it's just so much more detailed for me. Do you still use the settings I gave you, Brian?
Brian's no
The
longer
one
in.
that
he's out.
I used that you did was using the going into the heat map and turning off the vertical smoothing and setting that to manual. That was something that really helped me clean up how it looks. So my version of Bookmap is through Thinkorswim. Nathan's got the full big boy version. Pretty cool looking.
Nathan.
Yeah, the full Ferrari.
Could you walk us
the decked out
through
Ferrari.
your setup and how you set it up? Like some basic tips on how to set up a Bookmap if you're a first-time user.
The biggest thing to go through is go on the studies configuration, go into heat map, and start playing around with these settings, especially the upper cutoff limit. I just like to track the biggest orders on the book. So I usually set that between 95 to 97, 98. And then the lower cutoff, which is also up here, I use to find any like hidden liquidity or anything that I'm trying to look for, a moving average algo that may be sitting there, some sort of liquidity. If I just want the full order book and to see everything on, cut this all the way off and then come up here, bring it back through, and you can see a lot of liquidity closer to price action. So that helps clear it up. And then going into advanced color map settings, I like the brightness all the way on and the contrast all the way off, just because it gets too yellow and I can't see through that. But this kind of cuts everything out just to kind of get the noise out of there. And then Thor, I think I've told you about the manual smoothing.
Yeah, I love that.
That will help either bring all the orders together or start to separate them out. So I usually go 2 or 3 on that one.
The time and sales that you have spinning there, is that Bookmap's time and sales or is that DOS's?
This is DOS's because I don't like Bookmap's time and sales that much.
I was asking that because it looked like it was really fast, and I was like, that looks a lot like DOS's. And you filter yours like the same way I do too. You're only looking, you're not looking at anything at the price, which I really like. Obviously.
Yeah,
so that's really cool. I thought someone was talking about in the BBT feed, like, man, your time and sales seems really fast. And I'm like, it does seem fast. And I was like, I bet that's DOS.
Yeah, it is. I like DOS's charts. I just like their charts. I guess probably looking at them for so long, but just having them clean, I do really like their charts. You can throw candles on here.
I'm very much the same way.
On Bookmap too.
DOS really does have something about the way their chart. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree that it just looks the best to me. Easier to read and to see things.
Yeah, someone was asking what kind of subscription would you need for a Bookmap if we trade only in the US market? So AJ12, that really kind of depends on first, if you're US based or not. There's some creative ways to get a relatively inexpensive subscription through Schwab or TOS. But you're more familiar with that, Nathan, on that side. Like if you were just needed the US stuff and you're just going in there, what do you think someone's going to get into monthly on something like that? A couple $100 a month, something like that?
I would, yeah, it'd be about a couple $100 a month for the global. And I would do what you do, Thor, for somebody who's just wanting to get into it to see if it benefits them, is going with Thinkorswim. Extra $40 a month, throw $50 into an account, extra $40 a month, and just try out. You get a lot of the features and everything you need from Thinkorswim. It's just for me, I like to get more detailed into it, and I get it for free currently, so that helps out a lot.
So people in the YouTube there were asking what the information is. So basically, when you're trading stocks, you have a level 2, or what's called the DOM, or the depth of market. The depth of market is basically like, if you're familiar with real estate has an MLS, which is where, everyone's listing houses for sell, or for, and so when people want to buy houses, you got a place to go look. That's kind of what the level 2 is, or the DOM is. It's our listing of the best of the buys and the sells in both directions, up and down the book. Bookmap is a visual DOM. So basically, instead of looking at numbers up and down, you get to look at lines, or a visual heat map, or a representation. So it's got many advantages, being able to see the orders in space this way, but also it's a historical order book. So you can see what happened last time you were here, what kind of volume and selling you got going on. Maybe Nathan, help me out with this one. What are the spheres, like the dots, the bubbles? Like, what is that?
They're just dots, volume dots is what they call. So they show the delta of transactions within that time period. So right here,
so when you're saying delta, obviously you mean like the difference between the buys and the sells. So if there are more buys than sells, they're going to have a green dot.
Yeah, you zoom in closer, and you can see less of the orders, but they get stacked together the more you zoom out. And so we had more buy volume here. And here we have more sell volume. So you can even see that right here on the delta. I like to keep the delta volume. Since I have volume on my DOS chart, I like to keep the delta volume, which shows me how much, over the time that buy was versus, the last few. Just like you would on a chart.
That's really cool. I might do that.
You can also go in.
I like the delta volume.
If you want. I mean, you can also go in and just do total volume, but this just confuses me a lot. I can't really tell, how much was that a buy or sell, and looking at them. And some, like you said, sometimes with doing that with the volume bars, some of them just look like halfway. And so it's like, I can't really see how much selling and buying was in there. So I just like to keep it on the delta.
Yeah, that's great. I like that a lot. Let's see. So yeah,
What's your target on NQ?
Right now I'm still short Tesla. On NQ, I'm running this thing. So let's see here. Let me get I'm probably gonna look for. I'd like to run all the way down to maybe as low as that big order that's at 20,000. We've had that big order at 20,000. It bounced the price action. I think it was yesterday and the day before, the session prior. So I think that's a pretty good spot to look for. If we start to sell,
right
that's probably where our big buyers maybe. Yeah, exactly. S4. Right down by S4.
Order canceled.
Sweet.
That seems like a fun spot to go.
Yeah, I didn't know if AMD was going to break this VWAP. I just want to see if it can hold underneath. NQ will help out a lot with that.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, if the Qs roll and sell, and they went right to R4, so it's a wider range too. So I'm not really expecting a breakout. So if it can maintain that, then I don't see any reason why we can't start moving a little bit lower. I felt like we worked really hard to get higher in the range today. We kind of struggled with not a ton of volume. So hopefully we'll get something going.
Yeah, there wasn't much volatility with the news either. Just the big push up right to R4.
Do we have any
Doesn't
questions in
Powell's,
chat we can answer?
you see,
We
Your
got quite a few on
CVD
YouTube.
can. Oleg wants your CVD configuration.
it is a 15 and a full session. So this is, since it's open this morning, this is my 15. So I'll go through 15-minute slots for my CVD. Do you use 15? I think you use 15 or 30, don't you,
Yep.
Thor?
15 as well. Very so,
Yeah, it
and
has
basically
5
for those
minute
of
on
you, when
there,
we're
but I
talking
have to,
about CVD, we're talking about cumulative volume delta. So this is basically buys plus sells, right? So if you have more buys than sells, you're green. More sells than buys, it's red. And so what we're looking at with CVD is the imbalance between buying or selling. So we have our daily CVD, so we can see kind of like on the day, are we accumulating or are we distributing? And then on the shorter time frame, we can look at over the last 15 minutes. How have we been doing? Are we buying or are we selling? A lot of reversals can happen while you have green CVD on the day, right? But then your shorter term CVD will go red, showing you that you just have a lack of buying at that level. So you'll fade the price. It's not necessarily a reversal. It's just kind of a fade.
yeah, it says 5 here, but I had it at 5, but I changed it to 15. I just haven't updated these on all my Bookmap charts. But these are the things I like to look at. I like to look at these consolidations. Like this is a nice flag, breaking higher. Looking at these, checking swing highs and lows and seeing how much volume that was the last time we tested there. I can't see that as well on the chart. Like coming through here, seeing what happened in these wicks when price was here at the last time. And Bookmap it helps me see that. I can understand and I can see this. And it was kind of from just watching you do it, Thor, and watching you explain what it was about. And I loved it. Like once I started, after the first probably month, trying to learn everything I could, like I loved it.
100%. The analogy I have, is I kind of look at the order book as like the sheet music for the market. You know what I mean? This is the song the market is going to play today. All we need is volume. You know what I mean? So, and then, the more volume we get, the better the song plays. But you can see where the big buyers are. You can see where the big sellers are. And depending on how and where the volume comes in, you can make some pretty rounded choices about which direction you think things are going to go. So that's always a really fun way to kind of do that. So, and we're still holding Tesla. So it might take all stinking day, but we're going to see what happens.
It's stuck on prior day close. Well, this thing's stuck on VWAP. I know NQ needs to really hit a big flush. We got
Man,
our
I
order
picked the
down here
wrong
at
horse, I
21.75.
guess.
But yeah, everybody come to my Bookmap class today. I'll talk about Bookmap. You can ask questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything you have. I want people to not be scared of it anymore, and just to understand it more and how to apply it to trading and what things look like on a chart versus Bookmap. Is it cleaner for you on a chart or is it cleaner for you on Bookmap? Is it cleaner for you on the time and sales to track things, or is it cleaner on Bookmap? So I just want
So,
to
and
help a lot
the
of people.
class,
And
Nathan, is that going to be done in is it
webinar
done
room.
in the onboarding room, the webinar room?
Maybe it is. I think it's the webinar room.
I think it's the webinar room. So it'll be at noon, right, in the webinar room.
After you're done.
Yep.
I
So
figured it'd be
noon
good
in the
because I trade
webinar room,
cams.
everybody.
Figured it'd be good. I trade cams, so all the cam traders from your room can hop right over, and I'll be talking about cam trading a little bit too, to show some of my trades and what I look for around levels.
So it should be a really fun session, people. You know, it's really good. So make sure you're coming by that. You know, everyone out there in YouTube, you know, just a gentle reminder out there, you know, for taking the plunge to come into the community versus watching from the outside. We're going to keep bringing you the best content we can to the outside, ultimately, obviously, to entice you to come in and check it out. But, you know, the kind of stuff Nathan's going to be doing, the information you're getting right here, you know, especially when Andrew's out of town. And so we're, you know, most of us who don't trade momentum, you know, we basically run classes like this all day at the hour blocks. You know, there's a moderator presenting, talking about trading, talking about style. There's, you know, you have the ability to ask a real person a real question basically any time of the day. And that's very, very useful to development. So just, you know, make sure if you're just thinking about taking the plunge, you know, might be that time to come in and check things out. See our boy Nathan do his thing. You know, I mean, just look at the guy. I mean, wouldn't you sign up? I mean, come on now, people. So, but anyway, I hope everyone really enjoyed today's session. We're actually going to go ahead and start wrapping up for the day. Make sure you got likes for Nathan. We want Nathan to enjoy himself and come back and feel important and lovely for everybody. So make sure you throw some likes in there. Everyone in YouTube land, thank you so much for coming by. We know there's lots of options out there for you. We're glad you came by and hung out with us. For everyone else, we just really appreciate you as well. For now, I hope you all have a great rest of your trading day. And as always, keep it green. Nathan, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for coming by.
It's good being on with you, Thor. All right, brother. Have a good one.
Peace.